Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for my live review of Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1. As Arsenal do beat Chelsea in the FA Cup final after a game that honestly could not have gone worse for Chelsea Football Club. It could not have gone worse for Chelsea Football Club. Like, that was awful. That was as bad as it gets. We had injuries. We had referees' decision go badly against us in some cases, especially a picture that I just 2 seconds saw on Twitter, which was making me like, are you serious? Like, are you actually serious that this just happened? But I will get to it. But regardless of that, referees' injuries, we were also not good enough. Chelsea were not good enough today, and that includes the players, pretty much every player, and Frank Lampard. It was not good enough. And Arsenal were just better than us today. We just have to put our hands up and admit that they were better than us today. Yeah, okay, if some referee decisions go differently, we might still scrape this out, get it to extra time or something, and win it. Who knows? But how the game happened, we were not good enough. It's as simple as that. Before we get into the rest of the game, make sure you subscribe to Blues Fans TV. That'd be massively appreciated. At least cheer me up a little bit and drop a like. You know, if you're an Arsenal fan, you're probably happy. But I hate you for it. I honestly hate you for it. But drop a like. Cheer me up a little bit if you could. But let's get into the team that started the game, which was actually the exact same team that started against Wolves last weekend. Not quite that I expected that. Also, by the way, my apologies for not providing you guys with a preview ahead of the game. That is because I'm moving house at the moment. Obviously, as you can see, still in the same place, but furniture needs to be bought, moving in needs to happen and stuff like that. And obviously, it's way too echoey right now there, but my Friday video will probably be from the new flat, which is exciting. Not probably, definitely. But yeah, this is the team that we start with. So the press conference information was that N'Golo Kante and Willian will be fit. Will be in the squad. Well, in the end, Willian wasn't even in the squad. And Kante was on the bench but was an unused sub. So what's the point? Ruben was also injured. But yeah, we stuck with the same team. Willy Caballero in goal. Back three of Aspi, Zuma and Rudiger. Wing-backs of Reece James and Marcos Alonso. Two centre-mids of Kovacic and Jorginho. And then Pulisic and Mount as the two wingers or inside forwards. And then Olivier Giroud starting up front. And the game couldn't have started any better. The game honestly could not start any better. Because we was already 1-0 up after 5 bloody minutes. Mason Mount had a good chance a minute earlier already to make a 1-0 in the 4th minute. But in the 5th minute, we did make a 1-0. Great goal. Jorginho to Pulisic. Pulisic goes on a run, plays in Mount on the left with a cross that actually is a poor cross, but somehow kind of falls to Giroud with brilliant, you know, just quick thinking, kind of just back heel rolls it back to Pulisic, who with a great touch takes it past the defender and then kind of chips it over Martinez into the goal. Brilliant. Brilliant goal, 1-0 up, 5 minutes gone. I'm screaming my lungs out. I'm buzzing. And then we have another, lights flickering again. We have another maybe 5 good minutes in the game. And then for the rest of it, we were bloody awful. Us in the 3-4-3, Arsenal in the 3-4-3. 10 minutes in, we were awful. They pressed us. We could not get out to save our lives. They had a midfield 4, pretty much. Plus one of the centre-backs pushing up sometimes to even make it a midfield 5 at times, or one of the wingers dropping deep to make it a midfield top 5. Plus pressing our centre-backs and goalkeeper so badly that 90% of our passes were long balls to no one, because David Luiz pretty much dominated Olivier Giroud. And, you know, Mason Mount was too slow, and Pulisic wasn't making the deep runs, but also the passes weren't good enough. So nothing was working. Honestly, nothing was working. And when I say nothing was working, I mean nothing was working. But Arsenal weren't doing anything either. Like, it's not like we were brilliant. But, you know, Arsenal, okay, they scored an offside goal, which was clearly offside. And then they got a penalty. In the 28th minute, Azpilicueta, just poor. But also the system, it just didn't work for us. You know, Arsenal, they tried to play, you know, we played a high line and a press. Our pressing wasn't quite good enough. Arsenal were really good in being press resistant. You know, we just couldn't get on them. They play long ball after long ball after long ball to Ainsley Maitland-Niles or Aubameyang on the left or Pepe on the right. One long ball after the other. Eventually, in the 28th minute, they're through. Aubameyang is through. Azpilicueta kind of holds him. Yeah, probably it is more of a foul outside the box than inside the box, and eventually inside the box, or it just falls over. But, you know, you expect referees to give that these days. You just expect referees to give that these days. Also with VAR, pen is given, Aubameyang scores 1-0. We somehow hold on to half-time at 1-0. Honestly, somehow. Not that Arsenal had any huge chances for the rest of the first half, but we only somehow hold on because we were shocking. They were dominating us. They were annihilating us, quite frankly. Second half starts, no substitutions. I was like, all right, please change to 4-3-3. Oh, by the way, I forgot one of the most important things. Not long after the penalty, Azpilicueta has to be taken off after 35 minutes because he clearly pulled his hamstring. Bad. Man's crying when he's walking off, unsure whether from pain or from emotional distress because he has to be subbed off in the semi-final and the FA Cup final. Probably both. Probably more so the emotional factor. But that was awful. Christensen comes on for him. Christensen now plays central centre-back and Kurt Zouma plays right centre-back. We somehow get to half-time, like I said, but no more substitutions. And I said it to my girlfriend already. Because of that injury, we're not going to make a sub. We're not going to change the system because we already changed the centre-back for a centre-back. We're not going to take one of the centre-backs off again. Or we're not going to take Reece James off again now to play Aspie right-back because we don't have Aspie now. And we didn't. We didn't make any subs at half-time. And then we actually started really, really well for like, well, about a minute. Honestly, about a minute. Because Pulisic is kind of through. Great dribbling by him. Great sprint. And then literally just as he goes for the shot into the far corner to possibly put us 2-1 up already, he pulls his hamstring as well. He did try to shoot, even with a clearly very sore hamstring, but puts it significantly wide, goes down, has to be treated, has to come off. He's then replaced by not Callum Hudson-Odoi, but Pedro, which I was fuming about, but in the end, Pedro did okay. Better than Hudson-Odoi did when he came on, but that was a different scenario then. Game goes on. Still shocking. Arsenal still do the same to us in the first half. Kovacic, awful. Jorginho, struggling. Alonso, awful. Rudiger, awful. Reece James, struggling. You know, the front two in no man's land. They're not dropping deep enough to help a build-up play. They're not going long for long balls to possibly reach them. They're just stood in no man's land behind that line of 4 or 5 by Arsenal in the middle. We're just passing it around between our 2 DMs, our 3 centre-backs and Caballero. And then Caballero, that's the problem with him in goal. He just kicks every single bloody ball long. And not even very close to Olivier Giroud half the time. And even then, Giroud lost half the headers to David Luiz. And then Mr. Anthony Taylor turns up. Not that there wasn't enough discrepancies in the first half already. But then he sends off Mateo Kovacic. I will admit, I'm not 100% sure what minute the whole situation was with the goalkeeper. But, you know, actually, before he sends Mateo Kovacic off, Arsenal make it 2-1. Pedro loses a header in midfield against Ceballos, I think, or maybe Bellerin already. Bellerin then runs. Obviously, he runs past Jorginho. Can you criticise Jorginho for that? No. Kovacic, don't know where he was. Rudiger then just decides to just lunge in, gets nutmegged. He's through. Christensen jumps in with a brilliant slide tackle, actually. Then Bellerin kind of falls into his back. It's not a foul. Many people are claiming, why wasn't that a foul? But no. I don't know who you mean, Hanad. Kovacic was not fire. I don't know, unless you're an Arsenal fan, then maybe. Because he was awful. Bloody awful. Anyway, Christensen with a slide tackle gets the ball. Bellerin clatters into his back. Christensen's hurt. Doesn't have to be taken off, but Christensen's hurt. Ball falls over to Pepe. We have one defender on the ground injured, one defender halfway up the pitch because he just fucked up so badly in Antonio Rudiger that we just have Kurt Zouma there. Ball is played over to Aubameyang. Zouma doesn't look good. Aubameyang gets past him way too easily and then chips Caballero into the far post with a lovely finish. A naughty and lovely finish, I will say. That was in the 67th minute. 5 minutes later, Mateo Kovacic is sent off for a second yellow card. The first one, I can maybe accept that, okay, maybe you give it as a yellow. I think it's a bit harsh. You don't have to give it a yellow, but I can understand it. The second one is barely a foul on bloody Xhaka. The second one is barely a bloody foul, mate. He barely touches him. If anything, Xhaka steps on Kovacic. And Xhaka goes down like the bloody, whatever he is, rolling around on the floor like he's a bloody turtle on his back. Stupid prick. Just lying around. I was like, oh, ref. And then, like, I saw the ref give a yellow. It's like, who? Because I already thought, oh, Kovacic is lucky to be on the pitch here. Because from first instant, when viewing it, I was like, oh, he's lucky. He's lucky if he does, if he isn't sent off for that. And by the way, there's over 1,000 of you watching. So honestly, I do very much so appreciate that. But drop a like, guys. There's over 1,000 of you watching. And we've only reached 126 likes. So that's ridiculous. So guys, make sure you drop a like on this live stream while you're watching this right now. I don't care whether you're Arsenal fan, Chelsea fan, whoever else, drop a like right now, please. And subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. But yeah, second I thought, okay, he's lucky if he stays on. Then I see him give a yellow, but no red. So I thought, okay, maybe he booked some player for moaning. Whether it's an Arsenal player for, you know, demanding a yellow or some Chelsea player for saying it's not a foul, I don't know. Half a minute later, he realises, oh, Kovacic has actually already been booked, and he sends him off. Then we see the replay. It's in no way, shape or form is that a yellow card. It's barely a foul. But in no way, shape or form was that a yellow card. Not at all. Like, not at all. And then, to make things worse, I don't know what minute it was. But the ball is played after the substitutions already. So we make a substitution in the 78th minute. We finally make substitutions. Bloody Finally, do you know what I mean, Frank? Like I said, the injuries. Maybe he would have changed it earlier, but we needed to change system. But then we are down to 10 men. Then he makes a triple substitution, brings Tammy on for Oliver Giroud, Hudson-Odoi on for Rudiger, obviously changing it to, well, I guess a back four, and then brings Barkley on for Mason Mount, kind of a 4-2-3 in the end, because obviously we're a man down, so it can't be a 4-3-3. So we do that, and then there's a long ball played, probably by Jorginho, I don't know who it was, to Tammy. The keeper comes out, Martinez comes out, kind of can't decide what he wants to do, fist it, catch it, whatever, and then catches it last second and is kind of trying to keep it inside of his own box. And we was unsure. We saw it on TV, we was unsure. Was it over the line? Was it not? Was it in the box? Was he not? Because if he's outside the box and he handles it, it's a red card. That is a red card offence, right? You know, obviously play goes on. They don't stop it for VAR. But no replay shown. Not a single replay was shown of that instance. Not a single one was shown of that instance. We don't know whether VAR checked the situation. The first screenshot that I saw looked like he was probably just about on the line with the ball. Second replay I just saw just before, or screenshot I just saw just before I started this live review, strongly looked like that ball was over the line, mate. When Martinez had it in his hands, which means he should have been sent off, which means it would have been down to 10 for both teams, equal playing field finally again, and maybe we would have turned this around. Let alone the ridiculous foul not to be given by Pepe on Pedro just outside the box. Yeah, maybe we don't score it, but Mason Mount just scored a brilliant goal from a free kick against Wolves last week. Okay, Mason Mount wasn't actually in the pitch anymore, but still we might have scored from that free kick. Clear foul. Not yellow or anything, but it's a clear foul. Man just says to play on. And then to make things worse, Pedro gets injured in injury time as well. I don't know, possibly dislocating his shoulder, possibly breaking his collarbone, or the right shoulder. Poor guy, honestly. Going to Roma, I hope for him that he signed a contract already, because otherwise he's bloody screwed. Thank you for so many people tuning in. I know most of you is just laughing at me, but still, thank you for so many people tuning in. But drop a like though. Drop a like. Come on, guys. You know, it's only 270 likes, even though there's 1,138 people watching. I mean, we bloody need to change that. But let's not ignore the fact that, first of all, why did we start at 3-4-3? I understand it's worked recently. But Frank, come on. Remember the game in January. We started with a 3-4-3. It was so bad, you changed it after 27 minutes. And now you do it again, and the same thing happens. They press us. We don't know how to get out of the press. We are incapable of making use of our front three, and we're just dead. Okay, we went 1-0 up, which is good. And then if we could actually defend, that would have been fine. But we weren't able to defend because we couldn't have any attacks to kind of release pressure from ourselves. All we did was long balls to David Luiz, basically, or their goalkeeper. That's all we did. That's all we honestly did. And I'm like, come on, change it, do a back four, at least try. Especially once we went 2-1 down. And within those 5 minutes, since Aubameyang made it 2-1 and Kovacic got sent off, he should have already changed it. And so many players should have been taken off. Rudiger shouldn't even be starting games, quite frankly. I mean, Christensen came on, and to be honest, was probably the best of the 4 centre-backs that played today, including Azpilicueta, because he still gave that penalty away. Christensen was good when he came on. Zuma was alright, but Rudiger was just awful so many times. One time he fell over and we almost conceded. And Christensen bailed him out. One time, obviously the second goal, it was his one. Well, he wasn't the only guy that made a mistake, but including him, the worst mistake of the lot. Constantly just booting the ball out of play instead of trying to keep it under control, trying to finally get some control of the game when we were just struggling. And, you know, it was a final, mate. It's not like we needed 1 point here and it was the last game of the season like it was against Wolves. It was a final that we wanted to win, right? Don't just be booting the ball around, giving it out for throw-ins and like it's nothing. No. You know, keep the ball on the fucking ground. With Chelsea Football Club here. We're not bloody Sheffield United. It's probably bad example. We're not Newcastle. Just boot the ball around all day long. It's not what we do, really. It's not what we bloody do. I'm fuming. Kovacic was bloody awful. I don't know who's saying he was good. Every single through ball that he tried was so overhit, he might as well have tried to play it all the way to bloody Stamford Bridge, even though he was playing at Wembley. It was so badly overhit, every single one of them. He only tried like 3 or 4, but every single one of them was shocking. Half the time he dribbled into an opponent, and the first yellow he got was because, without any real pressure, Jorginho gave him the ball. He's there like, alright, Alonso's to his left, or behind him, Rudiger's there, Zuma's there, Jorginho is there, plenty of people to pass to. He doesn't, he tries to go on the run, basically plays the ball into Xhaka, tries to slide after it, and then slightly touches Xhaka. Fair enough, maybe it still shouldn't have been a yellow, but don't put yourself in that situation. It was poor, and many other times he was just poor. Honestly. Bloody fuming. And who else was poor? Tell you what, Mason Mount. What were you doing? Good in the first few minutes, don't get me wrong, but considering he isn't even a proper winger, he did not drop deep enough to be the connector between the midfield and the attack, because that was the problem. We needed someone to get in between those that midfield four, that midfield five, pardon me, the midfield four, that midfield five of Arsenal, because we just couldn't penetrate them. We just couldn't get over it. And yeah, he was running his socks off in pressing and doing this and doing that and trying to defend. But on the ball, he just didn't receive it enough, and he needed more movement for that. But like I said, Kovacic, Alonso, shocking. Absolutely shocking. The guy's the most immobile man I've ever seen in my life. You know, I mean, the goal that when Aubameyang makes it 2-1. I mean, the way Pepe spins him. Alonso honestly looks like he's running in slow motion, while Pepe just looks like he's walking past him in real speed. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. The touch was really good. And Caballero, I can't really criticise much, to be honest, except for the things I already mentioned. You know, when you do bloody, play it out from the back, or when you do get pressed by the opponent, you know, it's important that the goalkeeper scored with his feet. Caballero isn't, hence why we kicked the ball all the bloody time, and then Giroud didn't win it. Did Giroud do much? Yeah, he assisted Pulisic's goal really, really well. But after that, he was just pocketed by David Luiz, and we'll have to say he was absolutely annihilated. But also not helped by the ref. I mean, Arsenal got every small decision, every tiny foul they got. And we got the first free kick in the 55th minute, which was ages into the game, and another foul by David Luiz on Giroud. I mean, there was multiple situations with David Luiz. Elbowed Giroud in the back, kneed him in the back, all sorts. This is what David Luiz does. It's not like as Chelsea fans we can complain much about this, because we said, oh, it's fine, it's just David Luiz when he did it for us. So can we complain? No. But usually when David Luiz did it for us, the ref gave fouls all the bloody time. He didn't today. So that was infuriating. Pulisic, great. Honestly, feel awful for the guy. Feel awful for Aspilicueta as well. I just hope that there's, the hamstring tears aren't that bad. That it's not like grade 3, because that will keep them out for a while, probably make them miss some of pre-season, and probably not give them a proper holiday because they have to stay for rehab. So that wouldn't be great for them. That honestly wouldn't be great for them. I hope it's not too bad. Same goes for Pedro. Of course, he's going out. But again, Kante was an unused sub, I know, with this sending off of Kovacic. But we should have changed it to a 4-3-3 much sooner. And then you should have brought on Kante. You know, why is he on the bench if he's not going to be used? Honestly, it's bloody infuriating. I'm so annoyed. But what is, also, I say the ref. Where is VAR? If Martinez collects the ball outside of his box, where is VAR? Why is that not looked at? If it actually was outside the box, that's the sending off. They're down to 10 men with 10, 15 minutes to go, including injury time? No, excluding injury time. So, 10, 15 minutes plus then later on injury time. That changes everything. Honestly changes everything. So you can't really just say it's Anthony Taylor's fault, because that one, which was the biggest decision of the day, is VAR. You can also disagree with the rule books of VAR. Why on earth does it not check yellow cards? You don't have to check it for an hour every time. Just let play, go on basically. And if you tell the ref in his ear, actually the guy you booked earlier, don't book him, or take the yellow back. When the ball is next out of play, you remove the yellow card. It's as simple as that. And if you gave a normal foul and VAR tells you actually you should have booked him, then you go back and book him while it's the middle of play. Okay, when it's second yellow card, it's a bit trickier. But that second yellow card should have been checked, because, it's not a straight red, so by VAR rules it's not being looked at, but essentially it's a sending off regardless that drastically impacts the game. And in just no way, shape or form was there a second yellow card. It was barely a foul. But Frank Lampard has to be questioned. Why 3-4-3, mate? Why? We saw in January that it doesn't work against Arsenal. Yes, I know, I'm pretty sure if Kante was fully fit, we probably don't start it. But then you see it's not working, change it. Okay, we get to half-time at 1-0. Change it at half-time. Then we get Pulisic injured. Change it with the injury. No. Okay, actually, I don't think he could have quite changed it with the injury, because it was an attacking player. But Aspi gave us almost freedom to change it in the first half already. We didn't have to make a crazy sub. We could have just brought on a midfielder, Barkley, for Aspilicueta, and changed to a 4-3-3 already. It would have been much better. We would have not been so outnumbered in midfield, because, okay, yeah, they had a midfield 4-5, but that's two wide players, which we kind of had with our wing-backs as well, but we just didn't make use of it. Jorginho and Kovacic, even though, especially Jorginho, but in the defensive phase, also Kovacic, weren't that bad. They were just overpowered, outnumbered. What can they do? And Frank could have tried to rectify that problem, but he didn't. And I think if we had a 3-man midfield, we also would have found it much, much easier to connect with the front three and actually make use of them. Because the only thing we did is kick a long ball to Giroud, who felt like poor Ollie. He was kicked in the back so many times, by David Luiz most of the time. Kicked in the back so many bloody times. And didn't get to do anything other than a cheeky little back heel to Pulisic. And it's disappointing. Of course, the season's still alright because we finished top 4. And Arsenal, you have fun in Europa League. You know, you enjoy that. We're going to play some Champions League football there. Going to sign CHAOUIPRODUCTIONS as well and a couple of other great players while you're not going to do anything. But no, it's not Lampard out. You know, it's not Lampard out, but Lampard has to learn. Lampard has to learn a lot. And I'm confident that he will learn because he's a smart man. But he needs to learn. And don't blame Frank for this. No, don't blame him solely. But he's part of the reason what's you know, well, he is one of the reasons that is why we lost today. He got it tactically wrong in the first place, and then got it tactically wrong by not changing it, waiting too long, waiting for Kovacic to get injured, sent off, and by then it was too late. But then it was quite frankly too late. And now I'm just going to get to a couple of things that you guys have said in the chat because before we let it be for now, I guess. But there's still 1,339 of you watching. So please, guys, make sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. Just, you know, we're still on our slow, you know, way, long road to 200,000 subscribers, but on 105,000 already. So get us closer to 110,000. Why not make sure you subscribe and drop a like? You know, there's still 1,300 of you watching and not even 500 likes. Everyone drop a like. Whether you're watching this as a live stream right now or whether you're watching it as a video later on. Who, TF, are you to say Frank is or isn't good enough? I don't know who you're talking about. But I am to say, because this is my position, that he got it wrong today. But it's not he's good enough or isn't good enough. He is good enough. You know, he's got a lot to learn as a young manager. You know, Frank isn't to be blamed for being, you know, appointed by Chelsea into his second season of his managerial career. Do you know what I mean? Kovacic made some great runs, yeah, and did what with that? Did absolutely what? The ref didn't rob you. You were just bad. Yes, we were bad, but the ref kind of robbed us as well, especially if Martinez handled the ball outside the box. Hudson-Odoi gone, Kayo. I don't know. It was very strange that you brought Pedro on before Hudson-Odoi, but then you see Hudson-Odoi come on at the end, and man's just gone backwards. Man did nothing going forwards. Pedro at least made some movement to give himself some space. Pedro was the one in injury time because he saw everyone else awful here with Pulisic off the pitch. Willian not fit. What's the problem for Frank? You know, you have to say that as well. Willian not fit. He was one of the biggest constants since restart, especially and for the whole season. That, you know, harmed Lampard's ideas, I'm sure, and then the injuries, you know, to two of our most important players, and Aspilicueta and Christian Pulisic. But it was strange that Pedro came on, but Pedro was alright, made space for himself, did some good runs, not that he had any significant attacking bits. He could have shot a couple of times and didn't, or had it blocked. But, you know, it's alright. It's alright. How he didn't get so... For Aubameyang is beyond me. How he didn't get sent off at 10 minutes for the foul on Aubameyang? I don't know what you mean, mate, but... The ref hate Chelsea is not the first time doing that to us. Yeah, no, it's true. Anthony Taylor has been quite poor against us a number of times. You blame players, I blame players too. Multiple of them. Joe need a loan. Loan is pointless. No pace in our team, I agree. Officials have been against Arsenal all season, so stop hating. We won and London is red. Officials have been against Arsenal all season. You haven't a lot. You're now in a position to say Lampard got it wrong. You're in a position because of us. Yes, but you know I'm sat here and everyone's sharing their opinion, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's you in the comments, and I just share my opinion. I think you got it wrong. That's why I'm in this position, basically. Did Arsenal Fan TV actually celebrate player injury? That is embarrassing. Be ashamed of yourselves, DT, Troopz, whoever it was. If that is true, what someone just put in the chat, that's embarrassing. Why was the game not stopped after foul on Christensen? The goal should not have stand. No. First of all, it wasn't a foul, actually. I don't think you can give that. Christensen just jumps into a running Bellerin. What's Bellerin meant to do? Stop on it in a drag? You can't give that as a foul. And why is it not stopped? Because it wasn't a head injury. If he held his head like Tierney did at some point in the game, when actually he was shoulder barged by Zuma, and he held his head, oh, my head hurts, and then the ref stops it, because for head injuries they always have to stop it. If Christensen held his head, then he would have stopped it. Maybe he should have done that, but, you know. Hey, question. Do you think lack of rest time was the reason for the injuries? I don't think you can say that, because we had a full week off after Wolves. And yeah, maybe he played a few of those players too much. But, you know, who got injured? Aspilicueta, yeah, maybe he played too much. But Pulisic, did he play too much? Really? When he already wasn't in the team again for a few games, again, when we were like, all right, he should be starting. Okay, he had a small injury already in his calf. But today wasn't a calf problem. So Pulisic, maybe. Aspi, yeah, probably played too much. But then again, you know, top four, as much as we want to win a trophy, top four is more important, both on a financial perspective and also on a perspective of signing players this summer. So prioritising the league games makes sense, and we succeeded in our goal in making top 4, so it worked. And then to have a full week off and then, pardon me, to have 2 hamstring injuries, quite bad ones, is disappointing. Very, very disappointing. I said it in every match preview that a 3-4-3 was a bad decision against Arsenal. Finally, Mount is overrated, can take players on 1v1, not a winger. No, he isn't a winger, that's very true. The point in Mount playing there in the 3-4-3 is his press. But Arsenal were very good in being press resistant. Also, our press wasn't quite good enough, but Arsenal were very good in being press resistant and getting out of our press, you know, number of times. Sometimes way too easily by just long balls to Maitland-Niles or Aubameyang, past Aspilicueta and Reece James, who really, I struggled to really rate Reece today, because Reece was always with one of the guys, either Aubameyang or Maitland-Niles, while the other one dropped deeper and raised Aspie. But Reece, but that's management instructions, should just be a bit deeper and help Aspie more. So it's a struggle. It's a struggle, honestly. It's a struggle. Arsenal needed this more than Chelsea. Yeah, I don't care. Still a Chelsea fan. Bayern will smash us again. Obviously, I mean, we don't have Aspie, we don't have Pulisic. Willian, apparently, his contract doesn't run for the Champions League. Still mixed reports consistently. Pedro is out. And off. Who knows? Biased ref ruined the game. I agree to some extent. Congrats, Arsenal, from a Chelsea fan. Meh. By Aubameyang, see in Madrid. I don't know. What? Since Juan Mata, no number 10. I mean, we didn't play a system that required a number 10, but you're right. Am I going to react to anything else? I'm going to do one more comment. Very poor officiating, yeah. Caillou again. We getting a brand new attack. Happy these are gone. Yeah, you know, that is true. Today, yeah, the defense was poor, and the tactics were poor, and the midfield was struggling. But a new attack is needed. Werner coming in. Pulisic still being there. Pulisic is not mentioned by this new attack. So yeah, quite possibly Kai Havertz. You have a fully fit Ruben Loftus-Cheek. You have an improved Tammy. You have an improved Mason Mount with a year more experience. We're going to be a different animal next year. And depending on who we get to sign, whether it's goalkeeper, left back, centre back, midfielder, let's wait and see. We're going to be a different animal next season. But Frank Lampard still needs to learn, and some of these players still need to learn, because quite frankly, none of our 4 centre backs is quite good enough. Zuma makes mistakes. Was beaten way too easily by Aubameyang for the second goal. Christensen, too inconsistent. Rudiger generally is just poor. He's just, the main thing Rudiger does is shout at people, at his teammates, when generally he's the one making the most mistakes, which is very infuriating to me. And I'm not saying he's awful, but he's just too inconsistent and too prone to mistakes to be so vocal and shout at people so much. It's just, it's a bit of an annoying trait almost. Like acting like he's Maldini but playing like this bloody, well, Rudiger. Do you know what I mean? Which is not Chilabodji level, but still not Maldini, do you know what I mean? And Alonso, too slow. Reece James needs to also get quick, ideally. Maybe lose some weight, lean up a little bit. I wouldn't mind that from him. But guys, I'm going to leave it here. Again, thank you for watching. Really do appreciate all of you guys that have tuned in, whether it's Chelsea fans or Arsenal fans laughing at us or anyone else. Really do appreciate all of you guys that have tuned in. Make sure you subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. We just passed 100,000 subscribers a few weeks ago. So help us reach 200,000 subscribers, 110,000 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe, drop a like on this live stream if you were watching it right now. If you are watching it right now, still over 1,200 of you watching. And not even 600 likes. Every single one of you, make sure you drop a like. It doesn't cost you any money. It barely costs you any time. It's just one simple click of a button. Go down below. Make sure you smash that like button. Whether you're watching it as a video later on or as a stream right now. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. After Chelsea, it's upwards and onwards. Realistically, one more game to go this season next weekend against Bayern Munich. And then that's going to be it for the season, realistically. That's going to be it. And then we go next season. And, you know, with a new attack, with new players, let's hope, including Kai Havertz, a left back, a centre back, a goalkeeper. And then we go again. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. It's upwards and onwards. And I'll see you when I see you.